Welcome back, everybody, to the Pair of Kings podcast. I'm your host, Saul Thompson. You can find me on Instagram at Saul Thompson. I'm joined this week not only by my co-host.
I'm not wonderful this time. You usually say I'm your wonderful co-host.
I usually say when I'm closing. My wonderful co-host. My spectacular, wonderful co-host.
Hi, sorry. I'm Michael Smith. You can find me on Instagram at @_Smith.
Nice.
And we are joined this week by
Mian Chan. Hi.
Hello.
Where can they find you, Mian?
Oh, I'm at mian.chan on Instagram, but even better if you follow at mixed.feelings, which is the brand that I started that we can talk about later.
Yeah. I'm actually very excited to talk about that. So welcome everybody to the episode of the podcast. We're very excited to have Mian on. She does a lot of different things.
I wanted to introduce you by this is, writer and whatever, but no, I can't. Not writer. Anything.
Yeah, I'm one of those annoying Brooklyn people that has a really, really long list of things they do.
Just go creative director. Just sum it up.
Yeah. Typically it's writer and creative director, and I'm just it means nothing.
Yeah.
Have you thought about just making your Instagram thing I make things, period?
Yeah.
All in lowercase?
Yeah.
Should I?
Yeah.
Make it really simple.
Yeah. So how are you? What's new? How has Brooklyn been? How has your Friday been?
It's been good.
Nice.
Someone came and caulked my balcony doors this morning.
Okay.
Cool.
I talked
You
to
have
Verizon.
a balcony?
Oh yeah. It's so nice. I can watch people on it. It's very nice. But it's been chill.
Nice.
Just working mainly. The grind. How about you guys?
I'm doing well. I came back from my mom's. It was Leo's birthday yesterday. So I went to my mom's because he loves my mom.
Did he get a cake?
I gave him whipped cream, which is his favorite dessert.
And he ate a bunch of
Sushi
for
for lunch.
breakfast.
Oh my god. From Nobu?
No, oh god.
You didn't get Leo Nobu?
No.
That's so
Fake
rude.
as
I
hell.
couldn't afford Nobu for myself.
He's your
Leo's
son.
worth it, dude.
It was a nice sushi lunch.
What do you like? Yellowtail?
I got him fatty tuna.
Ooh.
He's a little
This is so
bad.
repulsive. Guy from New York feeds his dog sushi. It's ridiculous.
Every day.
And whipped cream. It's a little high-low situation. Did you get a pup cup?
No, I used to get pup cups, but then he knocked them onto the floor of my car and just make a mess. Yeah.
Leo.
Feels like your fault. Feels like he didn't hold the cup right.
Yeah. Well, why didn't he hold the cup himself?
Yeah, what are you, stupid?
Yeah. Come on, dude.
So, Mian, for people who don't know, what do you get up to? We can obviously get into all of it across the course of the podcast, but you can probably introduce yourself, in a very concise way.
Yeah. I'll try elevator pitch.
Nice.
version.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Well, I started my career as a writer, as you
Mhm.
mentioned,
Mhm.
but I've kind of pivoted away from that a little bit. I'm still doing it a little bit here and there, but I mostly now, I run video for Teen Vogue Them, Glamour US and Glamour UK at Condé Nast. I have an amazing team. And so
Is them under Condé?
Them is
Okay.
also Condé,
Got
Condé
it.
magazine.
Okay.
Yeah. LGBTQ queer magazine.
And we're going to
under
touch
the
on that
brand,
later,
yes.
but yep.
Yeah, which is exciting. And then I also am an editor in the written sense. I'm a very bad video editor. And I started a newsletter brand under Condé Nast. It's kind of an existential fandom-y kind of newsletter, which we will also get to. But that's pretty much it.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much it. Those 6 things, it's pretty much
I
it.
do everything.
And I keep it light, you know?
But that's just media, man. Once you get into it and you start as one thing, but you kind of have to get every other skill as well to continue being in this industry. As I feel you both know, I've been here for 15 minutes and you've set up an audio setup to a 2-point lighting setup.
I don't know if you can compare the podcast that we do in our free time to your 6 jobs at Condé Nast, but
Yeah,
This
I mean,
is a
we'll take
very
the
similar-
comparison.
thank you for
Sure.
trying, but we're dumb.
I mean, this is very similar to the setups we do for social video, to be honest. I shot with Conan.
One of the cast members' iPhone and the 2 cheapest lights on Amazon.
I mean, dude, I have so much footage that goes up on
Really?
TikTok for Teen Vogue and Them and Glamour that lives on my phone.
nice.
So
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's not that glamorous.
Does that make your phone a write-off?
It should.
You gotta get more creative on your taxes.
I do write off the bill a little bit, but I should be writing off more. Maybe.
Mian got a tax return of $18,000. The IRS is
No,
after.
I had to pay.
What?
Oh my god, you guys were what? No, it's because I'm so stupid and I forgot to take the New York State tax withholding off my paychecks. And so I had to pay all that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whack. What do you work like a regular 8-hour day, or do you work like constantly? Are you like a 20 hours a day type person?
No.
I don't know.
Do I seem like it?
Just the amount of jobs that you have. You have more than one company for every day of the week of the work week. And
That's
Is this
actually
like
really
a divorced parent situation?
so how do you spread
never
your
thought
time
about that.
between all of these publications?
I mean, I don't do it alone. I have a pretty great solid team. I have 4 people on my team. We all split across the different brands, and I mean, I think I work generally 8 hours a day. Like I'm pretty good about
nice.
turning off after like our hours, like 10 to 6. I do not get Slack notifications on my phone ever.
Smart, good.
I don't
Slack.
get email notifications. I don't get a single notification.
That's really impressive because my understanding of everyone I've known who's like worked in the fashion industry is that they're kind of just like on all the time.
Yeah, there's definitely times where we are on more than the 8 hours, right? Like, so right now I'm working a little more because we're leading up to Met Gala. I don't know if it's coming up. It could be in the past or in the future.
When is the Met Gala?
Met Gala's on May 6th.
This will come up before
Tune
then.
in on
Okay.
vogue.com. And all the other platforms will be viewing so much content. But so leading up to that, we'll do more. And then like each brand has their own like big, what we call tent poles of the year. So like, for example, like Them, which is the queer brand that I lead video for, has like Trans Day of Visibility is always a really big moment for us in March. We always do a very big celebrity video that goes with it. Pride's obviously really big. Glamour has a temple called Women of the Year, and so that's a big one. Then Teen Vogue has Teen Vogue Summit, which is kind of like an LA event where we get a lot of like celebrities and activists, and we have like panel discussions. People can buy tickets and stuff like that. So those times we'll be working a little more. Sometimes I'll bring in extra help, like on a freelance capacity. But generally, I think, you know, it is a lot. We're juggling a lot, but we're trying to have good work-life balance.
I got to get some admin stuff out of the way that I forgot to do immediately at the beginning of the podcast. So to quickly derail. If you'd like access to episodes early, you can go over to herohero.co/POK. That really helps. For as little as $4 a month, you can get access to episodes early, additional episodes, and giveaways. We're doing a giveaway very soon. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are listening to this on your favorite podcast streaming platform, don't forget to add a review. That really helps. And I believe you can follow us on podcast streaming platforms. That also really helps.
You can follow. I follow you guys on Spotify.
Oh, let's go.
Hell
Huge.
yeah.
We actually have a lot of Spotify followers, which is really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I feel like Spotify is like one of the bigger podcast
Yeah.
streaming platforms.
It's interesting. But that's all the admin stuff. So
Yeah.
Before we also get way too out of control here, we got to do some fit checks.
oh yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. The fit check.
So do you want to start us off?
Sure. I have Leo in my lap.
Classic.
A pair of Jirbo jeans, a belt from Self Edge, and then an old Ishin Ryu karate tee that I got for $4 in Austin, Texas. They have really good thrift stores in Austin, Texas.
They do. They really do.
Legitimate
Good
thrift
graphic
stores.
tees.
I'm not talking like I love them, but James Veloria. That's not a thrift store.
Like it's not
No,
a cure.
yeah.
That's like a vintage
That's a
shop.
vintage stuff. Yeah.
Curated vintage. And
Mm-hmm.
vintage is sort of thrown at things. Like that. There's a lot of shit in James Veloria that's from like last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't quite count.
But it's, I don't know what you call it.
It's just a secondhand, curated secondhand store, I guess.
Yeah.
Curated secondhand.
It is consignment, is it not?
Is it consignment?
No, I don't know. I was going to say no like I knew, but I don't know shit.
Shout out James Veloria though.
Shout
Great
out
store.
James Veloria.
Love James Veloria.
Mian, what have you got on?
I've got on a Hades wool cardigan that has a bunch of faces on it. It's one of my favorite like knitwear brands. I'm wearing like a top under it that like I'm just wearing. It's from a brand called Enna. They used to be on Depop, and I think they like grew big enough to like actually be a fully fledged brand now.
Wait, so
Like
they
running
ran their
through
store
Depop?
off
Out
of
of Depop, yeah.
Huh.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think they were
Interesting.
just covered in a bunch of I don't know which magazine, but a fashion magazine just covered their like ascent from
Sure.
Depop to fully fledged brandom. And then like a kind of like halfy pleated skirt that I got secondhand. I don't actually know what the brand is.
Cool. Cool.
Michael, round us out.
I'm wearing cowboy boot Crocs and then leather basketball shorts, Rick Owens, and a tank top that is Rick Owens, and a sweater that is Rick Owens.
Cool.
Love it.
I think the
Brand
basketball
loyalty.
shorts go really well with the cowboy boots. It's one of my favorite combinations.
Have you ridden the horse?
Have I ridden the horse or a horse?
Horse.
A horse, yes.
Okay.
I'm from Arizona.
Yeah.
How do you think I got to school?
Are there a lot of horses in Arizona?
I mean, it's like I'm from like sort of a farm town.
Ooh.
Like
Did you have a bus that took you to school?
It's not that bad of a farm. We have roads.
But yeah,
She's
buses
imagining
have to go
holes.
on
You're like fighting
roads.
Gila monsters.
Yeah.
And like,
No, okay, so like where I'm from is now like very suburban, but when I moved there, we were about a mile away from dirt with like traffic lights hung from wires.
dirt.
Whoa.
And it's no longer that. Like now,
that
if you,
sounds really like idyllic and nice.
yeah, it was beautiful.
Did you have like a stream behind your house?
No, we had dirt.
Oh, okay.
And there was a stable at my high school if you wanted to ride a horse there. I should say I'm from one of the like largest metropolitan areas in I'm not like from Hodink, Arizona. I'm from like one of the largest metropolitan areas cities in the world. It just also I happen to be in the farm part of it.
Michael is painting a picture of like Fallout 2.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
going, it's a
dude.
radiated wasteland.
Borderlands.
Yeah, I had to like, there was a bunch of like barbed wire in between me and all my classes. They were just in little trailer trucks.
Wait,
We
actually,
may do.
I'm from California, and many of my classes were in portables.
Yeah, quite a few of
Yeah.
mine were in portables.
Where are you from?
I'm from
He's
Scarsdale,
from
New York.
Upstate New York.
Oh, okay.
It's
Did you have
not really
portables
the same.
too?
We had a portable in middle school.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. For a second, I thought you never had to grind. I apologize. I wasn't familiar.
I'm familiar with my game.
Yeah.
So, man, you do a lot of stuff. A lot of it is really interesting. I guess I'll ask you.
But not all of it is interesting.
I don't know. I disagree. I guess we can touch on mixed feelings first.
Yeah, I love
Running
to
on.
talk about mixed feelings.
So mixed feelings is it's a newsletter.
Yes.
You can sign up. You should probably go and do that.
Mixedfeelings.earth. I can give the spiel if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give the spiel.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I pitched to Condé Nast, which is like the parent company that owns like Vogue and GQ and all the brands that I just mentioned at the top of this interview. This like kind of small Gen Z sort of lower millennial newsletter of sorts that's very community focused and existential. So it's kind of we deal in our log line is we deal in existentialism in all forms. So our bread and butter is like an advice column that we publish like once a month. Right now we're in a little bit of a hiatus where people will write in with their like kind of existential qualms and questions, and then I'll assign writers to write to respond back in an essay. I saw you had Laura Pitcher on the podcast. Laura is a very early mixed feelings writer. I'm a big fan of her
That makes a lot of
work.
sense.
Yeah.
That super tracks.
She wrote a really great story. Her first story, she's written a few, but like her first story was about this person wrote in and was like, is it bad that I don't want to share my location with my best friend in the world? Like they make me feel bad that I don't do it, but I don't feel comfortable. It doesn't mean that I actually don't like them. And Laura wrote a really great piece that was kind of pulling it back a little and talking about like digital, like people's expectation to your digital privacy.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting.
So
like
real
Dear
quick,
Abby, but for
where do you fall on that?
Where do I fall on
yeah.
that? I will say that a few years ago, I was very, very anti-location sharing. And I realized a few years later that it's because I had a friend that I felt would abuse that privilege.
Yep.
And a friend that was always like, where are you? Where are you going? What are you doing? And I loved this person, but I was a little uncomfortable with them knowing where I was all the time. And then, that friend, we were sort of like, we waxed and waned. We're not like as close anymore. And now I don't feel a way about it. How about you? Where do you fall on the location share?
I will send my location to anyone ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like
That's so Gen Z.
I'm
of
the
you.
easy guy at the party.
I'm not Gen Z.
You know what I mean?
I'm not either.
I used to get people's contacts and just immediately share
Yeah.
my location because I
That's
thought it'd be
crazy.
funny.
Pull your phone right now. How many people are you sharing your location with?
I'd guess like 50 or 60.
50 or 60?
Yeah.
That's so insane.
Is that
what
a
do you do?
lot?
Leave your door unlocked?
I mean, like my friends are more than welcome to come over to my place at any time. Yeah, like these are all people who don't share it back.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I have 6 people.
Oh no,
Yeah, here's my.
I use it like a snap map. Like it's fun to see all my little friends' faces.
So you have about 10.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 25.
Whoa. I think we need to poll your audience and have people share how many people. That 60. That's insane.
You would like to join the Discord.
Share your location with me on iMessage.
No, if you would like to join the Discord, or if you're already in the Discord and you would like to talk about this, we have a discussion channel in the Discord. Message us and tell us how you feel about sharing your location and how many people you share your location with.
That's a good one.
That's so you're just like anyone you meet.
Yeah, I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I don't do anything. I don't show up at any place with the expectation of like. So I've had 2 people in my life who constantly checked where I was, and that was weird. I do not share location with them anymore. Everybody else has been very respectful. I've yet to have a bad experience, and until it happens again, I'm like,
Are you still friends with those people?
One of those people was an ex.
Okay.
And one of those people I'm not friends with anymore.
I think it's a right until it's revoked.
Exactly.
Like, I'll start you out on location, and then the second you're annoying about it, you're gone.
You have to revoke. Like, to me, giving someone something, revoking it is so much harder.
No, I think you have to negatively reinforce their behavior. You have to like, no, bad. And then they show up. You don't say anything about it, but like, you know, they like show up wherever you are at 3 a.m. and they're like, oh yeah, I saw your location. You're like, oh, okay, you hang out with them that night. Next morning they wake up, location
gone. Yep.
But then what if? But then they want to talk to you about it.
I can fight.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't have those.
You can't have a conversation.
Share.
Hey, it made me really uncomfortable that you showed up at 3 in the morning at the party I was at with 15 other people.
I can't talk to people. I can't be
welcome to the podcast.
I can't be like setting a boundary. So hard.
Okay.
I have a couple friends. A couple of my friends get a notification every time I'm at the Supreme store.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Oh, did I give you that? Yeah. I'm very rarely at the Supreme store, but sometimes the train goes under it and I get signal and my phone sends a notification that's like, Michael's at the Supreme store, and my friends will all text me.
I need to have one that goes off whenever I get Dominican food at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, but except you're above it, so it'll just...
No. There's one up the street. Huh? Oh yeah.
Just make it really annoying. Like every time you like enter your apartment. Everybody on your 60-person thing gets pinged.
Every time I go to the gym, it says text Saul congratulations something.
The Twitter that keeps track of the cat entering and leaving the apartment. But it's I would like it's just like a notification. Saul has left his apartment. Saul has returned to his apartment.
It is nice when people are like, text me when you get home, and then you never text them when you get home, and then they know when you got home.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
So, with this being a very existential focused publication, have you gotten any questions that have either stuck with you after the fact or that have given you like a, oh my God, what is going on? Like have hit you in sort of an interesting way?
I mean, that one stuck with me because I did think it was a very interesting digital age question. That's very interesting because there's almost a generational divide with that one. Like we have another column within the newsletter called New Rules where we have teens, right?
Cool.
And almost every teen is like, they use this app called Life 360. Do you use that? It's like a location sharing app, but it does all of the like capabilities of like, oh, your friend got to school, or like it like has a lot of functionality within it. I have not used it.
So you can, sorry, God, I sound really old. You can set it so it'll send your friends updates like throughout the entire day?
It also will tell you what charge percentage your phone is. So they'll be like, oh, Isabella's phone is at 100%. It's 7 a.m. She hasn't gotten up yet because her phone's still plugged into the wall.
Is this like a parent watching app?
Parents can do that. It's funny. I have a friend from work who has children, and she was like, you have to tell me when you're going to leave, like go to blah blah's house for a play date or whatever. After not play date, he's in high school. And he was like, you can just check my location.
Interesting. That's crazy.
Can it also tell like my heart rate if I got a Apple Watch on or whatever?
I don't know. We need to download it, like, use it for a week and see what it's like. The percentage of your phone charge is interesting.
This sounds like Big Brother. That's like too much information.
It's a lot.
I think it's kind of useful to know, like, from a, not that I think that everyone should do this with everyone, but like from a safety standpoint, it's kind of nice to know where your friends are and if their phone is about to die.
Yeah.
Yes.
For like, you know, texting when you get home type reasons.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's very fascinating.
Sure.
But there was another one that's probably my favorite essay we've ever published, and it has gone down in the mixed feelings pantheon as the just tooth guy. And it was this guy who wrote in very long response where he was like, I have this girl that I love, like she's my soulmate. I fell in love with her when we first met because of her crooked smile. Oh. And then he was like, but soon she wants to get her teeth straightened, and he's having like an existential crisis about it, and he used the term the straightening is happening in a month. I just think that the language is funny, and then it was just like it was essentially like the straightening is happening in a month. What do I do? Like I feel so sick, like I'm afraid that I'm essentially going to be unattracted to her.
Sure.
Which, you know, on the surface, I think most people read it and it's kind of like an am I the asshole for not wanting my girlfriend to straighten her teeth? And like, you know, easy answer is like, you got to get over it. But Eliza Dumais, who's an incredible writer, has written for the site a few times, wrote this incredible story about what kind of like physical ownership that people have over their partners, that wove in her own personal story about her roommate's rhinoplasty, and kind of like related, being like, yeah, maybe you should let your girlfriend do what she wants if it's to make her happy, but I also see you and understand, like based off my experience, that like, oh, you're changing a thing that I know and am familiar with, and I understand why you would feel worried about that.
I read a really good story sort of in the same vein where it was a lesbian couple, and one of them got some sort of facial work done, and the other woman really couldn't almost like rationalize that it was the same person. And they ended up breaking up because of it, because she felt like there was a distinct point in the relationship where the person that she was dating fundamentally changed into somebody else, and just couldn't come to grips with it. I'm struggling to remember where I read it, but it was really good.
Yeah, she put it in the show notes. Do you guys do that?
No, we probably should.
We could.
Yeah, we're talking about a lot of things that can be linked.
Yeah. I'll do show notes for this.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful essay, and like I do think it's worth a read for everyone. Not, I mean, obviously I'm biased because like I edit it, and it's really, really great. But it's a really thought-provoking piece, I think. I think on the surface it's really easy to be like, fuck that guy. But when you kind of dig a little deeper, I think it's a very interesting piece to dive into. We've also written about like limerence. Have you guys been hearing that term more and more? It's the feeling of like a crush that's so all consuming that you have intrusive thoughts about it, or you have like, and so someone wrote in and was like, oh, I feel like I have a crush that's, and I'm not able to like channel the energy in a healthy way, and I'm like imagining like his like route from the subway to his house, and I'm walking the route or whatever. Which is like borderline, but like it was really interesting. Eliza wrote the essay for that one too, about like channeling that crush. There's some beautiful prose that she wrote in it, like maybe channel your energy and your fantasy about this crush into like your bodega guy, and like imagine what his life could be like, and like turn this into fiction and like write about it.
She's getting like Radiohead creep.
Yeah.
That's like very top of mind.
Hey, the way you made that chopped cheese was incredible. I'm
visualizing you making that chopped cheese.
I'm paraphrasing it so wrong in a way that's getting
I don't mean
dark.
To. We don't
the way
mean to
you
make
told
fun
me to
of
not forget
No,
that dev.
no. It's really but yeah, it's borderline for sure. What are the ones we've done? We've done a lot on like body positivity and like self-image. We've done a lot about like identity, queer community, stuff like that.
I read a ton of Dear Abby when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's kind of vibes.
Like growing up, I was like, I don't know why, because I was like 13. I didn't know what any of these
Dear
people.
Abby is.
Dear Abby's just like, it's an advice column, usually for like people just write in and they're
Sure.
like, oh, I'm having this trouble in my life. What do I do? And Dear Abby gives a very like, you know, rational response. This sounds like a much more like, I guess, modern and interesting take on that. So
yeah, we're not really concerned in the like, should I break up with my boyfriend type discourse. Like the stuff that we will often like, will pick me and Emily McGowan, who's my amazing editorial director. We usually choose things that are like kind of on the cusp of like, it could be sort of a contentious opinion,
Yeah.
or they kind of allows like the writer to kind of pull back a little and make a comment about society or something like that, like what Laura pictured in the location story. And that's kind of what we're looking for with the advice column. But then we also, a nice, like, we're going to talk about this later, but like we also do a lot of anime fandom and gaming coverage within other verticals of the newsletter. And I tie it together because I think mental health, anime, gaming are kind of loosely combined. And I feel like if you are a part of these communities, you probably know what I'm saying. But there is so much community focused like solidarity within Minecraft, Roblox, Fortnite. Like the anime community is so robust. Like, and I think there's like, we see like connections between that for sure.
So something that did come to mind when I was thinking about mixed feelings, and even just hearing you talk about it now, do you ever talk to your parents or people from sort of our parents' generation, right? You know, in that like 45 to 65 or older age group, and have you found that they are either alienated by some of the writing, or maybe not the writing, but the situations presented within the writing, or the dilemmas talked about? Or is it something that does span generations, even if it isn't directly applicable? Like, you know, my parents aren't playing Fortnite, right?
Yeah, my parents probably don't have the existential qualms around location sharing. But I, you know, to be honest, I haven't spoken to them that much about the minutia of the newsletter. They do subscribe because I can see that they subscribe, but we never speak about it. So it's hard to say.
So you've got their like location on. You're checking their. Are they?
I can
you check
see
if they've seen like, open the email?
I cannot see if they've opened every single email, but I can see how good of an opener they are. So it will like on Substack, we host on Substack. It will tell you like, oh, out of 5 stars, like how often a particular email will open the emails.
Are they a good opener?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, shit.
Bad opener.
And I keep telling them like, all you need to do is click it open. You don't even have to read it. And it will help. Just a little scroll of on, all good. But there are some things that I think they would resonate with, like some of the body image stuff. I mean, I feel like everybody feels a certain way about their body based off the media they consume. So there are things like that. For sure. Maybe you should you poll your parents? Should you show them the tooth guy thing and tell them what you think?
I think my mom would find it interesting. I'd call her and ask, but I know she's at work right now.
My mother listens to this. When this episode comes around, Mom, Nancy, could you just go read I'll send it to you. Just text me.
Yeah. It's a really good one. I gotta say.
Do you think that memes are an effective medium for communicating, or a substitute for actually having meaningful conversations around a topic?
Whoa.
Because I feel like I send my friends a lot of memes and I get some of them back. I'm like, is that a cry for help? Like, is it?
I think you have to be okay with asking if people are okay and like having that communication. But I do think that memes can sometimes put into words that, like, very subtle nuances that you cannot quite eloquently put.
Sure.
And I like that about them. I also think that like sometimes memes can bring levity to like very serious or like downtrodden topics. Like, you know, I think that there's like a slippery slope with mental health and memery that can like go a little too far. But I think that there is a lot of stuff with it. Like there's a creator that I like named Alega Kastens. She's a lot of OCD counseling, and she does like some pretty funny memes sometimes about her experiences as someone with OCD, but brings like humor to it, that it's not so serious. And like, I think that that's, you know, there's a place for that. And I kind of prefer it to like the insane, like very serious infographic.
Yes. I think humor's disarming in a way that lets you like receive information you would not otherwise be open to like receiving.
Yeah. What do you think it's a barrier to communication?
I think that as everybody has become a lot more aware, and as conversations around certain mental health topics have become a lot more normalized, people are very able to either explain away or sort of like play up certain things. Like,
I don't think a back and forth meme conversation is a conversation.
No.
I think it's like foreplay to the conversation.
I do believe in having at least a few friends in your life where your primary mode of communication is sending each other like 10 to 20 memes at once.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
not anything else.
absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
you should have at least one friend like that.
I send one of my best friends a video of Chuck E. Cheese throwing up gang signs to a Glokknine song like once a month.
Yeah. And that's a healthy friendship.
Yeah. And then if one of us is having a tough time, we'll send a video of a seagull in a pair of Jordan 12s listening to Frank Ocean. It's like, oh,
Like,
I gotta call you.
Oh, that's the bat signal.
That's the bat
like,
signal,
yeah.
correct.
Oh shit! But now you have like a Pavlovian response to seagulls wearing Jordans. You're like, you okay?
And that's not part of your lore.
That's part of the lore.
So with mixed feelings, you've done in-person events, right?
We've done a
Yep.
few that have been really successful, and we're really excited about them.
So remind me if I'm remembering this incorrectly. Was there a dating event or was there a platonic like friend making event?
There was a platonic friend making event.
Yes.
We had like our big launch party in September before I met you.
Yes.
I'd already known you. Then we had in February, we had like a speed friending event at the Ace
Yes,
Hotel.
that's what it was.
Yeah, and that was really fun. We sold out twice.
Did a lot of friends get made?
Yeah, it was really sweet. Like we wrote all these like questions. We have like a host of like very mixed feeling questions. Like I think our go-to is like, what's your toxic trait?
Have you done the
We're not really strangers.
is that like the 50 questions that lead to love?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's the New York Times one, right?
Yeah.
I
Do you know about
haven't
these,
done-
Michael?
I haven't done
No.
it.
Oh my God. We should ask a few right now. So apparently,
Are we gonna fall in love?
yeah. So there are questions that apparently if you go through, I don't know how true it is, but through all of them, I'll just read I'll link this. I'm also going to cut
Wait,
this.
read a few. But
Yeah,
read
yeah.
a few. Let's just see.
Yeah,
I love to answer questions that were engineered.
I love
This
engineered
is-
questions.
Wait, then I'm going to read you some of the questions from our hyper-specific questionnaire.
Please.
Because we also engineered those.
Have you done a Where Are They Now and seen if anyone's kept like speed friendships going?
That's a great... You know what? At our next one, we should do videos of people making friendships and then checking with them 6 months later.
Yeah.
We're doing another one that I can't say too much about, but in July.
Can you have a speed beef event?
Yeah.
Where I go
Where you
through and
just
try.
roast- you just
Yeah.
roast
No.
people.
I try and get as like I try and
I need as
foster
many haters
beef.
as possible.
Yeah.
Wait. I love it. Wait, you should do a thing where like everyone has to read each other in for 15 seconds.
Okay. So the 36 questions to fall in love. I'll ask a few of them to the both
Do
of you.
1, 25, and 50.
125. It's 36.
125 and
Okay.
36.
Okay.
Do, yeah.
1. Given the choice of anyone in the world, I assume living, who would you want as a dinner guest?
The living one.
You just want a living person.
We're going.
Nice.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, okay. My best friend from preschool was a Australian kid named Henry, and I don't know where he is in the world. I don't know what he's up to,
This is
but
a
I would
much nicer answer than
love to get dinner with him because we were tight. Yeah, that was my guy.
I would
This
be
is so much
afraid of
sweeter.
that.
I'm falling in love with you. What was yours?
That's the point. Mine would be Hyunjin from Stray Kids. Because I'm in love with him.
Is this part of the limerence?
Oh my God. Yeah, kind of.
Okay, you're imagining his walk to the stage.
I mean,
What's
I have
this?
to be so for real. I became obsessed with Stray Kids 2 months before my breakup.
Oh.
What is Stray Kids?
It's not
They're
you,
a
it's
K-pop
me.
band.
Is there someone else?
Oh.
Was
And
that
it's
ass?
Hyunjin from Stray Kids. They're just they're arguably the biggest boy group right now because BTS is in
The army.
the army.
How will whatever get
Born
his
to
banana
Slay.
milk? Have
Oh
you
my
seen
God,
that?
banana milk is so good. I haven't seen that.
Oh, there was a Twitter thread about the BTS guys getting, put in the military.
So
and-
sad.
yeah, and it was like, how will X guy in BTS get his banana milk? Don't they know that X likes his whatever warmed up to this degree?
Oh, it's all the stands who know exactly how to perfectly take care of
Yeah.
Jimin.
Yeah.
Tight.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, 25. Make 3 true we statements each. For instance, we are both in this room feeling blank.
That is such a weird question.
Yeah,
You said 1, 25, and 36. I
okay,
think we've skipped a
we-
lot of intimacy in
3
between these
each.
things. Maybe we do 2 each.
Oh my God, because you think at that point
I think
At that
so.
point,
I mean,
once you
so
are in love?
we've skipped. 10 is if you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? We've skipped what is the greatest accomplishment of your life? What do you value most in a friendship? What roles do love and affection play in your life? Like we've skipped the big ones.
I don't readily know the answer to most of these questions. I don't even know if I'm in love with myself.
Michael in a mirror.
I mean, we
Or in a room
love
recording a podcast.
There you go.
animals.
We love animals.
That's another one. Sure.
That's why we hate Dio from JoJo.
We.
I kind of fuck with Dio.
Yeah, kinda fuck with
No,
Dio.
no. In episode in
Oh,
episode
he
1,
kills
he kills
a dog. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
but, you know, that's thousands of years ago.
Yeah. Wait. Do you
Uh,
not think people can change?
Yeah.
Whoa,
we are- yeah, wait,
Dio
also-
is a bad guy.
His descendants.
But to be
I'm not
honest,
gonna do
this
an
is
anime
like so
conversation.
embarrassing. I haven't finished JoJo.
Neither have I.
Yeah. Wait, where have you gotten to?
Like literally season 1.
Oh.
That's
oh.
the bad one.
Yeah.
I know.
What about you?
I got through Steel Ball Run.
Oh, so you finished it.
Okay, you've gone
No,
past
isn't there
the
one-
You've read
ends.
them. You've gotten. You're not even watching. You've read manga.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Are you up to date on JJK?
I'm
manga?
2 behind.
I was worried we were gonna get to this conversation.
I don't know if we can do JJK talk.
This
Because we know too
Michael's
much.
gonna sit there like this.
Because I'm up to date and we know about.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even know if you can do that without spoiling it. We have a whole audience.
You're gonna have to blur it.
Oh, okay. But Yannick, I'm sorry.
I had something I was gonna say, and then we started talking about.
You guys want to do 36?
Yeah, 36.
Oh, this is actually kind of a good
Do you
one.
love
All
this
right.
shit? Are you high right now?
Share a personal problem and ask your partner's advice on how he or she might handle it. Also, ask your partner to reflect back to how you how you seem to be feeling about the problem you have chosen.
I do love people to describe what they think I am.
Who do you think?
I had to take a second to think about it. I get what you mean.
I love it when
Sure.
people are like, "You are like this."
Okay.
Oh, I do. Yeah. I like finding out. Like if people, not in like a super annoying way, but if people ask me a question, I always like to know. Like clearly, if you're asking that question, you have an idea.
You're acting really weird about this.
Close. Sort of that idea.
Yeah.
But no, I do like to like.
Anybody want to rattle off a personal problem and how everybody else might handle it?
I have no problems.
Okay.
This might be too much for a fashion podcast.
I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's gonna be too long.
Yeah.
Very fair.
Like this is like over dinner conversation
That's
with Hyunjin.
36 questions.
We don't even speak the same language.
She would trade lifetime of happiness with you for 5 minutes of hot dog with Jimin.
For 36
Jimin's
questions that
not
lead
my
to love with
bias.
Hyunjin.
Yeah, that's just like that's a tweet from somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's all I remember.
It is interesting though. I don't believe that you could fall in love with somebody over 36 questions, but I think that people conflate emotional intimacy with love.
What's your ideal game night rotation?
Video game or board game?
Either.
Ooh.
Rotation being like, what games are we playing?
Like people you want to play with.
people I wanna
Oh.
play
It's like
with.
blunt rotation, but it's
Sure.
games.
I kind of have a nice little like. It's a lot. Like, do I need to like bring up like
famous people.
famous people?
I have a better question.
Okay,
Mhm.
go.
We all have to make a team of 4, including ourselves, for the Great American Challenge.
Whoa.
Who's on your team?
Oh, I haven't watched it.
No.
No,
The
no,
Great
no.
American Challenge. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Remind me.
So in a group of 4, you have to eat 1 large cheese pizza,
Okay.
do a 500-piece puzzle,
I love it.
believe smoke a 1/4 ounce of weed, and drink 36 beers.
So
Or
you
it might be 24
you
beers.
can kind of assemble teams. You can get like a tank to do your beer, your majority of your beer drinking.
Yeah.
You can get like a nerd for your puzzles.
I love doing the puzzle. I'm
Yeah.
usually puzzle guy.
That's
Okay,
nerd.
Hyunjin for the puzzles.
Okay.
Changbin, who's also in Stray Kids for the beer.
Are you just trying to be in
hard
like
mode,
a
hard mode, no K-pop.
Can it be anime character?
Sure. Yeah, I'll allow.
Oh, okay. Okay, you think about it too. Though. You think about it.
Light Yagami's doing the puzzle.
Ah,
Dead.
there you
Why
go.
not L?
Or L.
L would be like with his feet up.
He'd suck. He'd suck to be on a team though. He wouldn't talk
He
to
would
anybody.
just do
If
the
I
whole
smoke
puzzle. Light wouldn't talk either. It's all up
he's
here.
like, if I smoke this quarter ounce of weed, then I drink 2 beers. But he's also drinking 10 beers. Surely he must be light.
I think I want to have fun.
Hisoka.
That's bold.
No, oh God, no.
Hisoka.
He'd see somebody doing well on another team and just get completely distracted. He's also kind of like creepy. I wouldn't want that.
I literally love him.
I don't know.
He's my phone background.
Does anyone? No one in anime smokes weed.
Okay, here are my 4. It's me, Paddington Bear.
Yeah, tight.
He's gonna be so cool. I'm taking Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z, and I'm taking David Bowie, and we're just gonna have a grand old time, the 4 of us.
All of you. You're not gonna give people certain.
No, we'll
roles.
just all do it
You're
together.
roasting.
We're just
That
hanging
sounds
out.
fun.
We're the
That
fun
sounds
team.
fun.
Yeah. You guys compete. You can have Light Yagami or whatever.
Andre
Trying
the
to kill-
Giant's doing beer.
Oh, I was gonna take Andre the Giant. How did their brain go there? Amazing.
That's a good question. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Should I steal it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do it.
Good
Steal it.
fun.
One of my favorite questions to break the ice at a party is I'll just go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, I'm Saul. We'll talk for like 2 minutes." I'll be like, "How far could you throw an egg?" And like 90% of the time, the first question back is they won't be like, "I'm sorry, what?" They'll be like, "Raw or hard boiled?" I'll be like, "Oh, okay, cool."
I immediately
It's a really
assume
good-
raw.
It's a really good icebreaker question.
Do raw eggs and hard boiled eggs have distinctly different?
See, now we're having the conversation,
Damn it!
right?
One.
I won. It's a really good question.
Good question.
What are some of the your speed hating?
Oh yeah,
Speed dating
speed
question?
dating questions.
Speed
You said you were
hating.
gonna
That's
pull
what
them
we
up.
need
There
to
were
do.
so
Yeah.
many, but we have like I pulled up a different one. Okay, how do you exit a party?
I just walk out, or I'll say goodbye to one person. So if anybody else asks, they know that I've left.
I say goodbye to my favorites.
Yo,
Okay, what about the host?
are they his favorite?
Is it my favorite host?
Oh my god, so rude.
No, I mean, I'll
Now
say
that I know this, if Michael leaves the party without saying goodbye, I'm
say
gonna
bye
feel
to you?
so shitty.
no. I think I say goodbye to like the people that I have been talking to that night.
Sure.
Like if I haven't, if I know you and we just haven't like
Connected.
crossed paths enough to connect that night, then I'll give you a wave. But I'm like, no, like, we're good to see ya. We're heading out.
How do you leave a party, man?
How do I leave?
Yeah.
Like 45 minutes later than I actually wanted to.
Yes.
Do you do the goodbye rounds, but you get like sucked back into conversations?
Yeah, that's the problem with goodbye rounds.
Like I'll say bye to who I'm talking to. I'll say goodbye to the host, but often like I'll just feel like I need to give like 10 minutes more.
Sure.
Who's your problematic fave actor, musician, artist,
Ooh.
etc. or why? It
That-
can also be a product.
I feel bad about that because so many like problematic faves are legitimately truly problematic.
know.
And like, do I want to?
Sometimes I say like YSL Black Opium, which is a perfume, but I
Why
think
is
it's a
that
very
problematic?
Black Opium is not a great name.
Oh, okay. Yeah. that
That's
makes
like
sense.
a softball answer.
Yeah.
I feel like people will tend to say things like Azalea Banks is a popular one.
Yeah,
That's a really good answer.
reasonable.
Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah, that's a popular. J.K. Rowling is also a popular
Oh,
one.
fuck J.K.
Oh, fuck
Rowling.
J.K.
Like
Rowling.
fuck her and her transphobicness, but
Harry, there's so many good fantasy series now. Like Harry Potter can be done away with. I'm
yes.
sorry.
They have done far too much with it.
They've driven it into the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I
Michael,
did do
problematic
Pottermore
fave?
beta
Oscar.
beta. Your problematic
Yeah,
fave is
Oscar,
yeah.
your ginger cat.
What
He's evil.
house were you?
What house was
Oh,
I?
no,
What
no,
house
no,
do you
no, no,
think
no,
I
banned.
was? This
That's
is
banned.
the most. What's something you bought recently after lots of research?
I think the answer
That's
to this
not
is
Rick Owens.
fuck.
Ha!
Shit. Lots of research. Recently? That's a tough question because I think probably like bike parts of some sort. It's not that recently, but it's the first thing I can like think of as recently is that I have a little bike and I make a lot of modifications to it and I like
Wow,
bought
you're a bike modder. Whoa.
bike guy.
Let the record show that Michael showed his Stick and poke bike tattoo.
It wasn't a stick and poke.
Okay,
it was just
machine bike tattoo.
Yeah, no, I'm a biking guy. I think handlebars. Recently, I was trying to find the perfect pair.
Shout
of
out
handlebars.
Flowbots.
Shout out Flowbots. I can ride my bike with no handlebars.
So can I.
Is it a fixie? Oh my god.
Get a little of this guy.
They're so impractical.
Are they?
Oscars.
Oh, Oscar.
Stop.
Get off the.
I'm obsessed with
Oscar
him.
keeps
He's
trying
the
to stop
worst.
the recording.
I don't know. You guys keep saying he's the worst, but he hasn't
He
done
fucking
anything bad today.
sucks.
He hasn't done a single bad
Because
thing. like-
you've just met him.
Yeah, because you're new. It's as soon as he gets comfortable with people, he turns evil.
Yeah. He was really sweet to me for a couple of weeks, and then
He is a sweetie pie, though.
yeah.
I don't think he's not sweet. I just think he's also evil.
I bought a My Melody alarm clock.
Oh hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Wait, how? This was a question we had related to mixed feelings. How do you make friends?
Mm-hmm.
I read that in the questions. I was like,
Mhm.
damn, I don't know. I feel like I make friends a lot. Honestly, like lame answer, like online. I feel like I make friends. Like I'll see people with similar interests.
Yeah.
And then I'll make friends that way, or like.
How do you go from seeing someone with similar interests to having a friend?
Ooh. Can I ask another follow-up?
Yeah.
Do you think being online sort of disarms the interaction where if it doesn't go well, it doesn't really matter? You haven't met the person in, face to face. There's no follow-up. There's no awkward conversation. Should you bump into them again? Does it make it
in
lower
this
stakes?
scenario, have we not met yet?
Oh, I see. So you're meeting somebody initially and then you're becoming friends.
Yeah, like
online.
over time. I feel
Got
like
it.
sometimes you meet someone, you follow them online, and then you have an internet dalliance for a little bit.
It's
Yeah.
your moots.
You're
it's your
sending
oomfies.
Moots to
memes.
Oomfies pipeline.
Like it's like when we first became friends, I feel like
Yeah.
we saw each other some like anime stuff, and then now it's like when we met, when we haven't Saul and I haven't seen each other since December, and it's like easy because I
Yeah.
feel like we already have this
There's a rapport.
rapport based off similar interests.
Wasn't December like the first time you guys met?
Yes.
Okay, and like even before online, because I feel like we were all like that was a very friendly encounter to
Yeah.
begin with.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That maybe not a great example, but it is a good example of like meeting someone, or even if I hadn't, let's say I had met you, just I knew that you were friends with Michael and we didn't meet in real life, but then you saw on my story that I like anime, and then you also like anime, and then we started talking about Tokyo Ghoul or something. Then I still think it would be as easy.
What
than
a
the time
shame
we
that
first met.
Don't
sucks. But you should have to mention Tokyo Ghoul.
The first season's pretty good.
First season's
First
good.
season
The rest
is
of it is
so good.
Yeah,
Butt cheeks.
Just don't watch the butt cheeks part. The first season's tight.
I guess.
So good.
It's so good. Also, it gave us that one anime profile picture.
And
the guy screaming
Unravel.
in
Oh
the-
my god!
it's
Top
Unravel.
3 anime openings.
Yeah.
Go.
Openings?
Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
Samurai Champloo for me.
Sure.
Yeah. I feel
Unravel.
like it's
Can I say Teen Titans?
Sure.
Okay.
it's kind of cheating to use, I forget his name, but the guy who did Bebop and Champloo.
Yeah.
Just
Same people?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
And Space Dandy.
Oh.
Weirdly
I listen to the Shampoo soundtrack all the time. It's like
that
so
shit's
easy.
good.
Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter. Oh, I fucking love.
So,
Hunter
when
x Hunter.
when
I
that
love
song comes
Hunter x
on,
Hunter.
I feel happy.
I feel like we have to. Okay.
Best anime outro of all time.
Jujutsu Kaisen season 1.
What is Asobe say? Oh. It's like it's weird. It's a fucking weird anime about like high school kids making a game club, but the outro is like heavy metal.
Really?
It's like the heaviest.
Leo, no
No.
licking
She can
man's
lick,
legs.
it's
No, because he'll do it
He'll
for
be there for
45
yeah,
minutes.
he won't stop.
Exfoliation.
Soft knees, brother.
Anything Yaosobi I
soft
also
knee.
like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I throw in a special mention for the Full Metal Alchemist?
Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist. Like
Is that an
Full
intro or
metal.
outro? I've
No,
never.
it's just in the middle of the episode.
In the middle of the episode before the commercials. But you know what? It is an amazing feeling when you're out and you're like, Full Metal Alchemist. And then someone else goes, Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, yeah.
It is so good.
I love it. Oh, I just want Hunter x Hunter back.
No.
I hope he's doing okay. I don't want him to be ill. I know he's struggling with mental health. You know he's married to the Sailor Moon.
Yes,
It's crazy.
it's so good. It's like mangaka power couple.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
It's
like
been
little like
4 years.
it's been so long. Are you caught up? I'm not caught up.
Dark Continent.
I'm
It's
in
really
Dark
good.
Continent, but I'm not
So
caught up.
it becomes like a political thriller. It's really
Hunter
good.
x Hunter.
Yeah.
I've watched the first episode
Okay.
and
You got a long way to go.
not been stuck in enough to
It
retry.
starts sort of
Yeah,
slowly.
I'm a
unfortunately.
JoJo fan. I know how it goes.
Yeah.
Those 13 episodes in the first season.
So bad.
So rough.
Honestly, the entire first season.
Yes. And everyone
The-
says you can't skip it because it sets up
You do,
everything for the
unfortunately,
rest
need
of
to
the
watch
thing.
it. You
And
do.
then
You do?
you
Yeah.
disagree?
Oh, I guess because
No,
gets...
because Joseph is like in charge, and then also you need Dio. Dio is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
running thread through the entire thing.
Yeah.
You have to watch those episodes, and you know it sucks, and you suffer through it, and then you
Yeah.
have the best time of your life.
I think I have to finally do it. Everyone's like, you're gonna love the fashion. The Stan's powers are so cool.
Yeah, immediately as soon as the second like season starts, you're like, oh,
The Stan's powers aren't even that cool. They're just fucking stupid and it's funny.
That's why it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that I feel like I'm into that because I love the guy who has the crazy slots power in Hunter x Hunter, Kite.
Oh, yeah.
In Chimera Ant-Arc.
Yeah, when he like loses his fucking his
Arm.
mind.
If you and also like the further you go into JoJo's, the more you can tell they're like fucking running out of ideas.
Oh no.
Yeah. No,
Um,
they really get weird with it.
One of the stands, its ability is being a boat,
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
and it's operated by a monkey.
What's the
That's
stand
the
that
one
just
I
gives
love.
haircuts?
I forget.
Right?
Yeah, there is one in the like the one that takes place in the small town.
Yeah.
Stand power is giving haircuts.
Oh, shout out John. He would have
Welcome
loved this
To
conversation.
the pair of pair of JoJo's anime podcast.
I was gonna say, what do you think the role of journalism is in amplifying voices?
Similar idea.
Yeah. Segue. I mean, I think journalism is so important to we do so much work at Teen Vogue and them and Glamour that like is just incredible reporting. Like we're doing a lot of stuff for Teen Vogue right now that's covering the protests that are happening in colleges around the nation right now that I think is really valuable, important, fact-checked work, especially where there's a lot of misinformation out there. We do a lot of amazing, incredible work for them. That's very obviously like anything related to queer news. There's been over 500 like anti-LGBTQ bills that have been proposed across the nation. So we're doing like the reporters on the team are doing like incredible work every single day on the ground, like, and I think that like especially I mean for every magazine, but I do think the audience like really one of the questions in the thing was about social media and like where like journalism is going with that, and I think that like people are getting a lot of their news on social media and we're really adapting to that, and I think that like not to toot like the team's horns, but I think that like Team with them and Glamour are really really great at delivering information in that kind of short form way. We have like a lot of people on my team who will like attend protests, go to rallies, like stuff like that are like getting, footage in the ground that I think is really valuable. So yeah, I think journalism is like hugely important.
Do you think that it's becoming ever harder to sort of keep a story and keep people's interest on one thing, as just like the amount of content and the amount of videos and the amount of, just overall everything keeps increasing online?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult.
How do you sort of address that or combat that?
That's a big question. There's like really granular things I could say, like roundups don't really work. Like, 6 things that happened in the news today. Like we shy away from that. I think doing explainers in a tight and concise way, scripted normally, where we are like flanked on both sides with animals, and I'm so happy.
What's an explainer?
An explainer is an example. We have an explainer going up soon about Haiti, about everything that's going on in Haiti. And so we'll often like adapt stories that have been published on .com, so like Teen Vogue and Glamour, and kind of digest it into the most salient details with like B-roll and footage, and then basically create like a 60 to 90 second like breakdown of what's happening. And so those perform very well, and I think that like they also it's nice on TikTok because you can find an audience there, and in a way that I think is a little bit harder on Instagram. I think that like TikTok also rewards like more niche content, and I think that and my personal opinion is that like niche storytelling is very important in media, but it's going to continue to kind of get bigger. I think that, like you said, there's so much out there right now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So I think that it's valuable for people to find like the communities that they resonate with. I think that's why people love Reddit so much, because they can find very particular subreddits that they can fall into.
There's so much fake shit on Reddit now.
There is a lot of
There's so much fake shit on TikTok.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
We're part of that problem.
Yeah. Whenever somebody's like, oh, I saw this TikTok, I'm just like, eyes glaze over. I'm like, you're about to tell me the complete opposite of whatever is true.
They found giants. Giants are real. And then they killed the guy who found the giants.
I'm surprised Bigfoot hasn't been brought back from TikTok. You know what I mean?
Oh,
or the
wow,
abominable
we say it now,
snowman.
and you're going to get something on your feed like in 10 minutes.
This creature was seen in the woods.
Yeah. But because of that,
2011 abominable snowman. So stupid. So dumb. And it does listen is the problem. Instagram as well. You have to turn off
there is a lot of fake shit up there.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's really important, because like things take a little longer than I think for like media companies to put out.
Yeah.
But it's because we actually have to go through like research and fact checking. And we take it very seriously. So, you know, valuable thing. But yeah, there's like, people are always like, oh, should I use like hashtags on TikTok? And I'm like, I actually think that using really sweeping hashtags like For You page and like Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, because everyone's
there, and you're not finding the audience you want, right?
Yeah.
So like, do something more specific, a little more niche. Or maybe it's a smaller audience, but you're finding people who are actually gonna
do hashtags actually work? I've never assumed
I think they can.
They can. They're fine.
I think it can be good for finding the community that you want to see your content.
That's true. Sure.
Which is, I mean, I feel like you guys have a very specific community, and like
media illiterate fashion people.
Boomers.
I mean, I feel like if you make memes, though, you have to have people that like are getting. People are getting
people
it.
Get
you
it.
need to have like people like you do have that, and it's
our
very
audience
specific.
gets it. It's really
funny.
Yeah.
It's just really funny when it leaves the audience, which it sort of has to perform well. But you know, our videos where we make up a whole bunch of lies about some random, where we spread huge amounts of misinformation.
But it is satire.
Oh, of course.
Clearly.
You say clearly.
No, I've seen the comments.
Yeah.
People aren't
will believe
clear.
Anything you say into a microphone. I'm 6'11", by the way. The TikTok ban thing is like they have like 9 months to a year to sell TikTok.
I think to find a new owner, though. I can't speak on this with much authority.
Yeah,
Mark Zuckerberg, you are the new owner of TikTok. Congratulations on your media empire and your data mining. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you.
Monopoly continues.
Even less believable, and probably something someone heard off of TikTok. I have heard that some laws in China prevent TikTok from being sold to a US company.
Oh, interesting.
In which case you're at sort of like a stalemate.
Yeah.
Like they're like, you can keep it if you sell it, and they're like, you can't sell it. But I don't know. That was something someone on Instagram told me, and I would not believe that at all. I'm really sad that Twitter is non-functional.
The question wasn't for you, Michael.
I just that used to be where I got all my
very
news.
Sad. Yeah.
Like that used to be a reliable place to get news.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, and now it's like
hellish wasteland.
Yeah. I go to very specific places for specific types of news.
Sure.
So like I really like The Verge for tech stuff. I think they do tech in a way that's like kind of like culture tech sometimes. Like it's not super. I mean, yeah, you were covering the chip shortage up the wazoo like 2 years ago, and I was like, no more.
That was important. I mean,
it was so
really
important.
Yeah.
It was so important. But I don't want to read that much about it. But it was important.
It's important, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to keep reading. I know what's going on.
Yeah, there was a period of time where I really wanted to understand Web3. And I listened to so many podcasts, and I could.
Well, I think the problem is like 80% of people who purport to like understand and use and explain Web3 don't really get it. It's like I saw a TikTok about Web3.
Yeah. But it is vast. The applications are vast.
Yeah.
So I really tried, because there's a podcast called The Decoder by Nilay Patel, who's the editor-in-chief of The Verge, and I think it's a very good podcast. A good entry episode. He talks about like the Olivia Rodrigo like music licensing snafu that happened like 2 years
There's
ago
a
and
snafu?
talks.
I don't know it.
Oh, whoa. She gave Taylor Swift, Saint Vincent, and Jack Antonoff like writing credits, interpolation credits on her song because people were comparing it, and it became this whole thing about like music copyright. So Nilay, who's the editor for The Verge, we used to be a copyright lawyer, so he brought a lot of like interesting perspective. A really good, really good,
cool,
interview, really good podcast. Where do you get your information?
I subscribe to a lot. I
want to know where you get your fashion information. Actually,
I make everything up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
None of
okay,
it's real.
classic.
It's all made up. I feel like I'm a very like passive news reader, and I like to read news as it is like brought to me, which is why I liked Twitter so much. Even though there's probably like there's flaws in that because you're being algorithmically whatever.
Yeah. But that's why things like Impact. Do you follow Impact? They're like a Gen Z. They were like on the Forbes 30 under 30 whatever, but they're like entirely social media, social first news outlet.
I get a lot of fashion news. It sounds weird, but I first see like my friends talking about it.
Yeah,
Discord, and then I'll go and look it up. And then for larger fashion things and sort of, actually thinking about fashion as a whole, I'll read books or Google Scholar. And if you know how to use Boolean search, go learn how to do that. It takes 2 minutes. You can get exactly sort of the type of information you're looking for. So like, in quotes, fashion theory plus women's fashion plus 1950s, and you'll find something that's helpful.
Can you tell that you are currently doing your PhD or your master's?
Yeah.
You're like, I love JSTOR.
Yeah, I love JSTOR. Fuck, I do love JSTOR. I love the library. I love books. I'm back on track for a book a day. I'm sorry, a book a week. A book a week. Sorry.
Wow,
A
what's
book
the
a
last
week.
book you
Still
read?
crazy.
I just finished Slow Horses. It's like a police spy thriller.
Ooh.
It's good. It ends really quickly. And the writing is very British. Those are
I'm
the
into
two.
that.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd like to borrow it from me, I'll just give it to you. It's in my backpack.
Oh wow, you finished it today.
On the train.
Avid reader over here.
I love books. I just ordered it was a fashion book actually somebody recommended. It's Engaging Air. Sorry while I look at my The End of Fashion by Terry. Who is this? It should be getting here today. Terry Agins. How marketing changed the clothing business forever. We've been talking a lot about new age marketing tactics within fashion. And how companies like Marc Jacobs, even though again I'm not a huge fan of their clothes or their bags or anything.
What about Heaven?
I think it's a little bit
big part of the like new age marketing tactics. I think,
but it works and it's working really well, and I think it's really interesting.
How would you, like in a nutshell, like explain what like new age marketing tactics within fashion is?
I mean, this was our last episode, so go listen to that.
I will listen to it.
The Marc Jacobs social media team is getting like any and every big viral moment and getting them to recreate it in Marc Jacobs, and just giving, I assume, quite a bit of money and clothes.
Every
they got
niche meme.
TikTok Riz, the Turkish Quandale Dingle and group leader.
Wow, they're just getting every.
Yeah. They got the Chick-fil-A sauce girl. They got You Are Now My #1 employee. They got the party ended 4 hours ago. He's still here guy.
So they're like hyper now.
Yes. And it's working because it gets shared and it's on everybody's feed and it's really funny, and like they're doing it really well. I don't love the clothes, but I gotta
you have to
respect
the game.
Yeah.
Game respect game.
Yeah.
Sort of a tangent away from that, but what was your relationship to Vogue before you worked at Vogue? Like as a kid, were you like interested in it? Is this kind of a dream or?
Yeah. I mean, I did read a little bit of Vogue growing up. I don't work at Vogue. I need to clarify. I do work at Teen Vogue. But
Teen Vogue.
Yeah, I read a lot of Teen Vogue growing up. Vogue, I didn't read as much of because I felt like it was a little out of reach. But I did read and look at the spreads like as inspiration. I think there was just some beautiful like magazine shoots in there. Teen Vogue was very like, I like subscribed to it from the Scholastic Book Fair.
Whoa.
And like would read about like how to make out
Yeah.
and like how to put eyeshadow on. And
I remember
that was, like,
stealing
fun.
Teen Vogue out of my sister's room and being like 5 tips he's into you, and I'm being like, okay, let me take notes here. Like, how do I show her that I'm into her?
Did it
Yeah.
work?
No.
Tight.
Yikes. So I mean, I did consume a lot of magazines growing up, but I will say that I never thought it could be like a job. And it kind of happened once I got to I grew up in California, came to New York for college, ended up really liking. So I got into beauty, which is where I started my career, completely through YouTube.
Oh,
And
okay. So like makeup tutorials.
Yeah, makeup tutorials. I learned about the beauty industry that way. I learned about new products, new ingredients and stuff like that. And that helped me get, when I eventually interviewed for an internship at W Magazine, that knowledge helped me. So
you must have been probably like the first group, like age group of women to really be brought up on like that makeup tutorial community, right?
And I think within, to go even more like micro, within the magazine industry, I was the first person to be hired who didn't grow up learning about beauty necessarily from magazines.
Yeah.
And I learned it from like these kind of like social platforms, and I think it made it more egalitarian. I think the magazine industry used to be like just for people who could afford to get all the makeup and stuff, but I could talk in my interview about the Clairisonic Mia, which was like a facial cleansing brush that was really popular at the time, without ever having used it, but I knew about it because I followed vloggers who had reviewed them.
Interesting. Do you think that the language and the almost like the respect being paid to the reader has sort of evolved over time? You know, I feel like we're farther away from like how to make out with a boy and more like how do I manage a relationship?
Absolutely. I think that there's a little less, I guess, pandering to the audience, and like a little bit more of like aging. A big thing we taught when I started working at Teen Vogue was, I think we can treat our audience with a little more intelligence, and like young people are so smart. Like we can create formats that are not just necessarily, we have a lot of gamey formats, but like we don't have to only do games. Like and I think it's paid off really well.
Is that like having someone who's actually the age or like much closer to the age of the people you're targeting now?
I am definitely not close to the age of the people that we're targeting, but like I mean, I like to think that I'm like, you know, keeping my finger on the pulse, as they say. We do have a lot of like teens that write for the magazine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you see certain, I hate, you know, I hate to use the word trends here, but like trends or patterns emerging in some of those younger writers just in terms of what they select to write about or the language that they use, or even like in some of the difficulties in pitching or just understanding sort of the creative process as it's supposed to be done, you know, with some of those younger writers versus maybe more dyed in the wool, slightly older. I don't mean to sound disrespectful to any of the younger writers.
No. I think young writers will always have, I think about me when I was pitching, when I was like that young, like there's a learning curve to like sending a pitch that is concise and gets your right point across and shows that you've read the magazine and you are thinking about audience. That I think comes with experience. But I do think that like what I love about working with younger writers is they bring different ideas to the table. Like for example, we're working with a young writer named Faye who is writing a story all about like Sims Tumblr mods.
Oh god, like the freaky fantasy or whatever, the one where they're naked.
Of course you know that one only. Of course that's the first thing you think
It's
of.
all over Twitter. I like all like so many of my friends play Sims, or it's like Wicked Whim. Is that it?
There's
the
no
naked
idea.
Sims mod, and so
Do you know this?
now I look like a fucking weirdo. Yeah, I have a lot of friends that play The Sims, and this was a big talking point
I have a lot of
because
friends that play naked Sims.
my equivalent is Skyrim and all the Skyrim mods, and so
and
I
the
was
first
like,
thing you think about when you think of Skyrim mods is,
the additional
naked.
magic ones.
are they ones that make people naked? Okay, so it's not your like first thought. Okay.
No, I like.
Play Baldur's Gate.
No, I have wanted to.
It really feels like you would really like it.
Okay, fair enough. But
Is there a mod to make people naked?
You don't even need a mod.
Oh, he wants to play.
Baldur's Gate is like the horniest game.
I gotta go. I got a game to buy. I got $70 to spend
Sorry,
right now.
I gotta go.
But yeah, she's writing this story that's coming out soon. That it might not be out by the time this comes out, but stay tuned, about some Tumblr mods and like there's this like contentious thing in the community about paywalls on Tumblr and like y'all have to read the story because I'm definitely not a
Send it to me.
for
I'll link it in the show notes since we're doing
the
that.
show notes. But yeah, just all about that and like mods and like fashion on within these universes. And that's what I'm saying is like the existentialism and gaming and anime universes kind of combining, because yes, it's a video game, but people are expressing themselves through Sims 4. They're finding community. They're exploring aspects of their personality they don't feel comfortable exploring within like their IRL universe. And so she touches on all that in the story that I think is really great. And she's living that experience, you know?
Yeah.
Do you have any outlets like that? You living out any relationship troubles or I'm forgetting the guy from Stray Kids.
Hyunjin.
Yeah, do you have a family with Hyunjin in
You're
The
like
Sims?
Your Sims K-pop band that lives all in
You
a house
trapped him in a
together.
pool.
You trapped him in a pool.
I don't know. I'm playing Stardew Valley right now.
Okay.
Oh, classic.
And I'm
So you can't trap
excited to
anybody in a
like
pool?
talk to all the people on it. And I'm like, I'm going to romance Alex, who lives in the village near my farm.
I thought you just picked up vegetables. You can romance people and Stardew
No,
Valley?
but you can like sleep in people. You can sleep in bed with someone.
Oh, shit.
Whoa. Saul wants to play that game.
I basically only play Fortnite. It's a little sad.
Did you buy the JJK skin?
No, I've never spent money on Fortnite.
Good for you. Not even your battle coins or whatever.
Battle Pass?
I don't know nothing about this.
No.
This is Zoomer shit. This
Wow.
isn't for me.
I want to play Fortnite, but it's so slow on the Switch. Do you play it on the computer?
I play on an Xbox, a really old Xbox.
Yeah.
I have a friend who plays on the Switch. It's
All
not
I
that
have
bad.
is a Switch. I don't think I can do it.
You should be able to.
I just heard it's slow.
Sorry, I need really good latency because I really game.
Yeah, Michael's it.
Sorry, I'm a gamer.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a gamer. Do you have advice that you typically give to younger writers starting out? I think you have to like
good question.
you've brought in a lot of like much younger writers than are normally working in that like professional of a setting.
Oh, there's so much advice. I think like specifically when it comes to writing, I would say writing a good pitch is such an important skill to have. And like, I would be happy to send anyone, if you're a young writer, you can DM me. I'll send you like an example of like a good, what I would consider a good pitch. And I would say like being concise is so important. So when you're going to pitch an outlet, example headline of what you think your story could be, 2 or 3 words, 2 or 3 sentences on like what your piece is going to be, what you're hoping to achieve, why you think it would be a good fit for X magazine. And if you're going to interview people, I would put a couple of like example illustrative sources that you would interview. Keep it really tight. I have received a lot of pitches that are basically like 600 words of the story written before. And that's tough. Even if the story is really good, like it's easier to receive a pitch that's like, okay, here's what I hope to achieve, than you have to parse through 700 words of like something that's like maybe not completely done. So I'd say that's a very valuable like hard skill that is easy to learn once you see a good like example of what that is.
Yeah. Interesting. Have you found significantly different responses, or even just in the formation of the communities around the writing? So between them, Teen Vogue, even mixed feelings. Have you found different ways either to engage the community, how they react to certain articles, things like that? And how do you, 1, engage the communities, 2, keep them engaged, and 3, really speak and make sure that you're staying true and being genuine as you sort of interface with the people, I guess the publication is for?
Yeah, I mean, they're all like have very specific audiences. So like them is definitely like the authority on queer news. And we do a lot of queer news. I think a lot of people follow because they want to see the news right away. They want to know what's happening in a really like state by state almost.
Sure.
But then we have an audience on them. So it's like, it's vast, right? We get people who want to read the queer news, but there's also like queer culture, right? And it's intersectional in that way. And so we kind of, for everything, for Glamour, for Teen Vogue, for them on the video side, we take a lot of cues from the editorial team. So like we're doing things that are adapting site stories. We know what works with our audience on Teen Vogue. We're like very fandom oriented. So like we do a lot of like young adult Netflix coverage because that performs really well for our audience. A little bit of anime. We also do like, what else do we also do a lot of political coverage for Teen Vogue. Like we're like, you know, it's an election year, so we have like a whole cohort of college ambassadors that we've been working with on the ground, and everything that we do for Teen Vogue is kind of through the lens of like what it means for young people today. So that's how we kind of like focus the audience. But I would say that like the content within it like kind of runs the gamut, because it's like those audiences can be interested in so many different things, right? They're interested in politics, but they're also interested in ExoKitty on Netflix, and they're also interested in Heaven by Marc Jacobs or whatever. So we kind of try to feed a little bit of everything, because we have sections for each of it. And I don't think we kind of treat the audience as like they're not just into politics. They're into like all these other things because they're like a fully fledged human being.
Must be nice.
What is the tattoo on your leg? Is that card collector?
Is it card captor soccer?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Damn it.
But it does give it's
little bit
vibes.
Yeah.
No, it's like there's really great tattoo artists named their handle is Neobot FX.
That's a really good handle.
It's so good. Their name is Jay. They're really good. It's an AR tattoo.
Oh, cool.
So if you later I'll show you. You can scan it and it brings up like an animated image.
That's sick. I'm gonna check our questions.
I'm also writing a story about it.
Cool.
Don't scoop me, anybody who listens to this podcast.
Let's see. So, what's your go-to party or icebreaker question? Somebody says ID ? It's kind of funny. How many of those grow in the water dinosaurs would you need to eat to fill your stomach?
Just one.
Some of these are complete jokes. Where my hug at?
I mean, of course they're going to be complete jokes.
People do be asking that.
Really?
Yeah.
Legitimately?
Yes.
Have we not memed that one into like... I feel the same way about that I do about like... It's impressive to me to see someone wearing a fedora when it's already been like
memed to oblivion.
If you've been on the internet, surely you must know. Like if you're posting this picture on the internet, you have internet access.
Yeah.
And how have you not seen like... I mean, maybe those like jokes aren't as common anymore, but they were for like...
Can you start posting with the samurai sword?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I would love to.
Top form.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies.
Mastered the blade. But yeah, I feel the same way. Like, have we not memed where my hug at completely out of like standard vocabulary? Sick.
What's the evolution of the where my hug at guy? Right? You go to a party and he's not saying where my hug at, but he's saying
I can show you how to climb.
Oh, it's rock climbing dudes.
It's
Grimichi pants.
It's always a rock climbing dude.
Shout out rock climbing dudes.
It's the new fish. Guy holding fish.
I fish and I rock climb. But I still fish. I really like fishing.
But you're not like posting giant like.
Can you
fish
please post
photos on your
a
Hinge?
like Oakley
This
glasses?
with a tiny. I just bought vintage Stussy glasses.
Yeah,
I'll
and like
post with the tiniest fish.
like a sardine. Hit that one.
Pose with the fish that you fish on Stardew Valley.
I posted a photo of me holding a fish in Animal Crossing during
That counts.
COVID.
That I'm into that.
Yeah. So we'll start wrapping up. Mia, and we do Song of the Week. It's a
Song
song
of
you've
the
been
week.
listening to, something you've been enjoying. And we add it to a playlist called Pair of Kens. Because it's our 10th season. And instead of 10, it's Ken. It's Michael's choice.
I am very smart.
What's a song that you've been listening to or enjoying that you'd like to add to the playlist?
I like that little Sims song that's really popular on TikTok right now. What's it called? It's called Gorilla.
Okay.
I also really like Magnetic. That's Illit by Illit, K-pop band.
Okay. I'll add both.
I'm gonna go with Broken Man by St. Vincent.
Oh.
Because I'm back on a St. Vincent kick lately.
I'm going to go with Rock Your Baby by George McCrae.
Okay.
It's like an old disco-y sort of song. It's really good.
It.
I've been to too many parties that like, this is disco theme and they don't play any disco. Really sucks. Like
what?
Yeah, I went to a Daft Punk theme party and they played like 4 Daft Punk songs over the course
And
of
the
the
rest
night.
was what?
Just like French house.
Not really. Like, first dude was really bad. Second DJ was good, but like not a lot of good house. It just bothers me. Don't promise me one thing and then I show up and it's another. I don't know.
That's strange.
A lot of really bad DJs in New York.
Yeah.
Oh, is that another Where My Hug At? Do you want to come to my set later?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to come to my set? I'll bring the vibes kind of people.
I'll bring the vibes is terrible.
Yeah, no, it's not great.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, Mian, tell the people where they can find you. You have so many things going on. So send shout outs. The floor is yours.
Aw, thanks. Well, subscribe to Mixed Feelings, mixedfeelings.earth. At mixed.feelings on Instagram. I'm mianne.chan on Instagram, and then Teen Vogue, them and Glamour are pretty. I mean, Teen Vogue, you'll just find it. Them is them.us, I think, on TikTok. Glamour is just Glamour Mag, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
If you'd like more of the Pair of Kings podcast, go to herohero.co/POK for extra episodes, early access to episodes, and giveaways. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Pair of Kings Pod. You can find us on YouTube at Pair of Kings Podcast. As always, I am Saul Thompson. You can find me on Instagram at Saul Thompson. I'm joined this week not only by my wonderful co-host.
I'm wonderful this time. I am Michael Smith. You can find me on Instagram at @_Smithstagram.
And our very special guest. God, I fucked up special. Mian Chen. You can find her on Instagram at mian.chen. Thank you so much to everybody for listening. This has been the Pair of Kings podcast, where once a week, every week for the foreseeable future, we are bringing you business as usual. Tomfoolery is planned. Have a great Tuesday or Thursday, depending on where and when you're listening. Take care, and I love you, everybody. Goodbye. Bye.